Well, good afternoon, Facebook. I have absolutely nothing prepared today, and I'm fine with that. Instead of poring over news articles, facts, and statistics, and all kinds of depressing stuff, I have spent the last couple days out of town. I took a drive over the bridge out into the area near the Olympic National Forest, the Olympic Mountain Range. I did my first observing of the year with my big telescope while I was out. I had the telescope stashed over the winter months with painter's tape over every possible uh, place where I felt dust could get into it, and there was still a little bit of dust inside of the thing. So it's important to keep a telescope like this clean and to keep the objective mirror free of any dust particles, especially ones that might be big enough to scratch the objective mirror, because that happens and you're screwed. But luckily, there were no such problems. It was not at all difficult to collimate the scope. I have had difficulties, especially if I didn't have the telescope properly secured while taking it for a long drive. If it rattles around a lot, then it can knock the optics out of alignment pretty badly. But that was not an issue this time. So the only thing I really had opportunity to observe was Venus, which appeared in the west as a very obvious crescent. A couple nights ago, when Venus conjuncted with the Pleiades star cluster, I took out the smaller of my two reflecting telescopes, and I was able to get a really good view of that. In fact, that telescope might have been ideal to observe, and it was a real treat. I did a little more reading. Apparently, those particular conjunctions, Venus with the Pleiades, occur regularly once every 8 years. And that's also when Venus transits its 8 year cycles, when it transits across the sun, I believe. So uh, that was a really cool thing to see. And so was Venus from out of town through the large telescope in its current phase. That was cool to see. Also, last night was the largest supermoon of the year 2020. It was cool to see that, but it also made it impossible to observe anything else besides Venus and the moon. The light from the moon just washed everything else out that I would like to have seen. Hopefully, the weather's going to cooperate. Some good early spring viewing would be a treat. I haven't really explored what there is to see in terms of deep sky objects in the spring sky. I like going out in late summer, July, August, when Sagittarius is up and all the deep sky objects, star clusters, nebula, the Sagittarius star cloud. When all that's up, that's my favorite spot to view the sky. But there's a lot that I haven't found yet um, in the spring sky, so this might be a good opportunity to do that if the weather cooperates. So sometimes I like to toy with the idea at some point in my life of relocating to the Southwest. When I was very young, I lived in New Mexico, high plains desert, about 4,000 feet in elevation, and sunny 330 days a year in New Mexico, and practically ideal for star watching. But that's most likely not going to happen. But it's a kind of preferable conditions to out here in the Northwest, where it's rainy 400 days a year. So, um, I'm not talking about coronavirus today. I'm not going to. It's very important to keep track of everything that's going on with it, but being fixated on it is really depressing, and it's important to keep morale up. And if there's something important, some important development, then yeah, let's dig into that and examine it. But for now, this particular stream is just intended to maintain the continuity. I think I've done one of these every day uh, since I stopped working. And so I'm just going to keep that up for the sake of keeping it up. And just having got back, didn't sleep the best last night, so I'm looking forward to a beautiful nap, which sucks a little bit given how nice it is outside. But, I've been outside quite a bit over the last couple of days. So I'm just going to stop things there. If there's something important to talk about, I'll find it today while I'm reading. and then I'll talk about it tomorrow. So till then, be good to each other.